Hey, good morning guys. My name is Adam over here at Gainesville Health and Fitness, and today I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about some of my go-to isometric contractions. We've been getting a lot of questions about isometrics lately. I seem to also be seeing it a lot online. So I want to talk about some of the benefits of isometric contractions, including how you can use them to reinforce positional strength. You can use them to help improve range of motion, and they do some really cool nervous system magic as well. So let's dive in. One of my favorite isometric variations of an exercise is an isometric back extension. I really love this one for training the erectors of the spine and training that extension or this motion of the spine. How we would get into an isometric like this is I'm gonna start laying down and almost set myself up like I was gonna do a push-up. So my hands are kind of near my armpits. Potentially, depending on how strong you are, hands may be slightly forward, and that just depends on the human. But from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift my chin and press my shoulders and my chest up to the ceiling. But what's gonna happen is I'm only gonna go as high as I can without lifting my belly button. If I lift higher than my belly button, I'm not gonna be able to hold the position, and that just has to do with physics and science and magic. So belly button stays down, the rest of the body goes as high as it can. Then you're gonna feel some stuff stretching and squeezing in your low to mid back here. You're gonna squeeze this as hard as you feel comfortable squeezing. And again, we never go 0 to 100, so ramp up, squeeze it a little bit, then a little harder, then a little harder. I'm gonna squeeze the stuff of my low and mid back, and then very slowly, I'm gonna lift my hands off the floor, and I'm gonna try to hold this for as long as I can. So I could either hold this for a certain amount of time, or if I feel very brave, I could just go indefinitely. And then slowly as I start to fatigue, you'll sink, but we'll continue to fight for every millimeter until we just totally run out of gas. Now again, that's a little more progressed, so maybe start off with a 10-second squeeze, 15, 20, and then you go up or down from there depending on where you're at. So another one of my favorite isometric contractions that I like to take people through is for the hamstring. And for this particular setup, I'm gonna be positioned so that I'm in a sort of kneeling position, and I've got something to hang on to with my hands. It could be dowel rods, it could be broomsticks. You could do this setup in a doorway. You just hang on to each side of the door frame. Doesn't necessarily matter, just something for stability. From this kneeling position, I'm gonna straighten my front leg. So this knee is straight or very slightly bent. And then from here, I'm gonna find a tall spine and I'm gonna hinge forward. So I'm pivoting forward, leading with my belly button, trying not to round my spine. You're gonna eventually find a hamstring stretch. That is to say that you're gonna feel stuff all through here. Once you feel this stretch, you're gonna hold this for anywhere between 1 to 2 minutes, depending on your tolerance. And this is where the contraction comes in. What I'm gonna start to do is squeeze or contract what's being stretched. So I'm gonna drive my heel down into the ground, start with a little bit of contraction, then a little more, then a little more, and you squeeze as hard as you feel comfortable squeezing. Hold that for between 6 and 10 seconds to start, and then slowly relax. Sink deeper into your stretch, and then you can repeat that same sequence until you feel like you've run out of space or you're just too fatigued. This is a great way to strengthen that tissue through a lot of length. So another one of my go-to isometric contractions for the lower body is what I typically will refer to as a reverse Nordic curl. So for this one, I'm on both knees with straight hips. From here, I'm gonna lean back slowly until I feel a little bit of a stretch in my thigh just above the knee. And then from here, like every other isometric contraction, I'm trying to squeeze stuff in this fixed position. I can start off holding for 6 to 10 seconds and then rest. Or if I'm feeling brave or a little bit stronger, I could try to hold it for as long as I comfortably can. Now this one can be a little bit challenging, so if you need to, we could have a chair off to the side or maybe some straps out in front of us to help us or assist us back up or to come out of it. Or if you feel brave, we could start off with no assistance and go from there. Once again, guys, my name's Adam over here at Gainesville Health and Fitness. Definitely try out some of these isometric contractions. They're some of my go-tos with my clients. Quick word of warning though, isometrics can be really challenging. So if you're not too sure about it, or if you're just not sure you're doing it right, please feel free to reach out to any of us and we'll be happy to help you out.